Felt Dam is currently undergoing a relicensing project with the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, known as FERC. And so during that process, it gives all the stakeholders a chance to look at the dam, look at the impacts to the resources, both fisheries, water quality, recreation, and determine if improvements should be or could be made to the facility. And so right now we're working through that process, looking at potential improvements to fish passage here, recreation. We're working through that process with FERC and with Fall River Electric. This dam was originally constructed in 1923, and it was a full barrier to fish passage until it was updated in 1985. And at that time, they added a fish ladder, a radial gate, and the new dam structure you see here, along with some fish screens. So at this time, we know through several studies that the fish ladder does pass fish and does pass Yellowstone cutthroat trout during their spawning migration, but we do not know how effectively it passes fish. And we also suspect that during high water, it's very difficult for the fish to find the fish ladder due to a large back eddy that comes off of that radial gate there where you see the water flowing underneath right now. All the data right now shows that it's very likely that there was a very large run of Yellowstone cutthroat trout through the canyon, perhaps in the tens of thousands. For cutthroat trout as far away as American Falls, that would have come through the canyon and migrated up into the upper watershed where there's abundant spawning and rearing habitat to spawn. So we're very concerned with the effectiveness of this fish ladder and the effectiveness of the dam in blocking that migration that we felt was quite large historically. This is the fish ladder, and as you can see, that entrance is quite small, and it's quite a ways away from the main attractive flow. So as fish are migrating upstream, they're looking for the main flow, which is coming from underneath that radial gate. You can imagine during high water, when the water's about this high, and there's a big back eddy here, very difficult for fish, especially migrating Yellowstone cutthroat trout, to find that entrance. Here we are at the fish screens and the intakes for the hydropower production. So the screens screen out fish and prevent debris from entering into the penstock, so the intakes. So these big large tunnels over here is where the water then flows through and down to the powerhouses and the turbines. So, but the screens are not working. We just saw 3 large trout ranging in size from about 12 to 15 inches on this side of the screens. So they're subject or they're vulnerable to ending up getting sucked into the intakes and having mortality in the turbines. The screen size spacing is quite large, so juvenile trout can easily get washed in here and end up having mortality in the turbines as well. So that's a big concern. So this is another thing that we're really worried about and concerned about, is improving the screening here to prevent entrainment of obviously all size trout from what we saw here today.
Friends of the Teton River perceives that the Felt Dam relicensure process provides an exciting opportunity for collaboration. The Felt Dam, due to its structure, can both produce hydropower and fish passage if designed correctly. The next step in the FERC relicensure process will be scoping through the National Environmental Policy Act, or NEPA. During the NEPA scoping process, FERC will accept public comment and host a public meeting. Friends of the Teton River will ask the public to support a thorough alternative analysis that examines potential fish passage and fish screening projects to select a preferred design in collaboration with Fall River Electric, the Felt Dam stakeholders, and FERC. If you would like to get involved, we ask that you encourage your federal and state officials and Fall River Electric to support this this thorough alternative analysis. Please watch for an announcement of a public meeting and public comment period for the NEPA scoping process. We look forward to your participation.